In this video, I want to keep talking about PMGs. Those are supplements that are made by Standard Process that we've covered in previous videos. So if you haven't seen any of those, check those out on our channel. The easiest one to find is called Drew's Daily Routine Part 2, PMG Edition. So you can watch that one to get some info about how I personally use PMGs. In this video though, I really want to focus on what they do and how many different ways they can do that. So, they're called PMGs. That's an abbreviation for protomorphogen. If you would like to call them protomorphogens, you may call them protomorphogens. I personally find PMG much easier to say than protomorphogen. They are organ-specific anti-inflammatory support. So how is this different from taking something like an ibuprofen or a turmeric? Ibuprofen and turmeric, most anti-inflammatories, are going to get evenly distributed throughout your entire body when you take them. That means everybody's fighting for a piece of the anti-inflammatory pie. But when we use PMGs, it is specific to an organ. So if you take something to help with inflammation, let's say of your thyroid, you would take the thyroid PMG, and your spleen isn't going to try to take a piece of that pie, and your heart isn't going to try to take a piece of that pie. Neither is your liver, your kidneys, etc. It's designed to be long-term support. So what we want to do is consider that PMGs are something we can take on an ongoing basis to constantly and consistently provide our body directions for functions. The nutrients within a PMG, aside from being anti-inflammatory, also give us direction for function. So if we feel like there's a part of our body that is so far off the rails that it doesn't remember how to work right, or if we have tests done that confirm some part of our body is so far off the rails that it doesn't remember how to work right, we want to consider applying a PMG to that, because a PMG is going to support that organ by giving it some direction. Now you might be asking yourself, that's all fine and dandy, you've sold me on the concept of a PMG, but do they have a PMG for fill in the blank? Well, let's go through the list. There's iPMG. It's called oculotrope, and I made a video on it. There's two different types of brain PMG. One of them is for your pituitary gland, and the other one is for your hypothalamus gland. Pretty cool. There's lung PMG. So if you were a former smoker, you lived in a house where there was a smoker, you live by a busy intersection where there's a lot of car exhaust, you work in a place like some of my clients where there's pollutants in the air because it's a foundry or a machine shop, or you're a mechanic, or you're a plumber and you're using glues and adhesives and a blowtorch, you might need some lung PMG. There's skin PMG, and there's not two types, but I wanted to make sure I pointed out that the skin PMG doubles as a gut PMG. So if you've got gut issues, like our clients who come in here and they already have Crohn's, they already have diverticulitis or diverticulosis, we usually use this skin PMG because that also supports the gut. There's heart PMG, cardiotrophin. There's spleen PMG and liver PMG. It's in Liviplex. Have you seen my Liviplex video? It's right on this channel. There's kidney PMG. There's bone PMG, which is really cool. That's also a doubler, because it also helps with all things joints. Oh, I've got this chronic knee pain. Oh, my back always hurts in this spot. You might need some bone PMG. It's called ostrophin PMG. There's testicle PMG. There's uterus PMG, ovary PMG, prostate PMG. There's pancreas PMG. Helps stabilize blood sugars. There's nervous system PMG, and I love this one, because there is a huge gamut of nervous system related symptoms that would get so much better just from applying the nervous system PMG. Currently in clinic, the most common reason that I am applying nervous system PMG to a case is because there's ADD or ADHD on the case, and the age of the person doesn't actually matter. It could be a child, it could be an adult, whatever. But again and again, we see if we reduce the inflammation within the nervous system, the symptoms associated with ADD and ADHD consistently improve. And because it's safe to take long term, especially if you're working with a kiddo, they can stay on it to get through the entire school year or maybe their entire academic career with no ill effect. There's adrenal PMG, that's within Drenamin and a couple other products. There's thymus PMG, that's for the part of your immune system that sits right behind your sternum in the center of your chest. There's saliva gland PMG. So if you're sick of too much tartar, yellowish teeth that don't get better with whitening products, dry mouth, cavities consistently even though you're keeping up with your hygiene, bad breath, did I already say that? Whatever. We might need to support your saliva glands to deal with those symptoms. It goes beyond what you do with your toothbrush and your floss sometimes. And last but not least, there's thyroid PMG to help support the healthy functioning of the thyroid gland and to help reduce inflammation within that. So I hope I didn't overwhelm you. There's a lot of info here, but I wanted to make sure you knew all of these different organs can get directions for ideal functioning that's safe to use long term and that is specific to that organ to drop down inflammation. And those products have PMG within their title. Thank you so much for watching this. If you have any questions about this, drop a comment below. We love answering questions. We are here to support you. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you soon.